Welcome back here to Mountain Lion Field on the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs campus. My name is Jake Ross. Alongside Michael Newman, we'll be bringing you the action today with a full day of softball already underway here. We've got no out, 0-1 at the plate. Jessie Case got on base. She's standing on second as we get underway here. Leading off for the Rangers today, it is for Regis. Case leading off. Campos safe at first there to start things off. So the leadoff hitters both get on for Regis with 2 on and nobody out for the reigning National Division II Softball Player of the Week last week, Alicia Martinez, stepping to the plate. And Michael, both of these teams coming in, the first real test for either of them in RMAC play. They looked pretty even yesterday. The starting pitcher for Regis, Kylie Hartman, who overwhelmed the Mountain Lions, 17 strikeouts, a great individual effort from her yesterday. Back on the mound, starting things off. It's the same pitching matchup as we saw in Game 1, Braylon Crenshaw versus Kylie Hartman. What's going to have to be done is that one's going to get over the wall, and another first inning home run for the Rangers has them up 3-0. And just like yesterday, they take a 3-0 first inning lead, and it looks as though history is repeating itself.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Kylie Hartman is going to be on the mound again. For Regis, the goal for UCCS is going to have to be putting the ball in play. 17 strikeouts is way too many. So that's going to be the goal, is getting to her early in the game.
And so already dealing with some trouble as the Mountain Lions, as Crenshaw gives up an early long ball and a little squibber back to the mound there. Crenshaw will handle it herself and throw Catherine Raper out at first. And it will turn things over to Rachel Williams back behind the plate in Game 1. Same 2 lineups that we saw for both teams in Game 1 yesterday for the Rangers. Batting order-wise, it is Jessie Case, Mia Campos, Alicia Martinez, Catherine Raper, Rachel Williams, Shelby Shepard, Mia Moore, Simonsgard, Madison Flores, and of course on the mound again, Kylie Hartman, looking to pick up where she left off yesterday. That pitch is going to be in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike here with 1 out. For the Mountain Lions, defensively, in the outfield from left to right, and left is going to be Brianna Matos. Center field, Mia Perez. Right field, Bryn Horton. Infield for the Mountain Lions on the corners. Usual starters there. Sawyer Brewster at third. Peyton Reisman at first. Up the middle for the Mountain Lions, Solana Martinez, who had a very good day defensively yesterday. Back at her spot at first base with Morgan Hernandez-Ballou playing second. Behind the plate for the Mountain Lions in Game 1 is Paige White. Typically starts Game 1 behind the plate. We'll probably see her slide into that designated player spot in Game 2, as that one is going to fall in there. 3 balls and 2 strikes now the count on Raper, with Braylon Crenshaw, of course, getting the start again for the Mountain Lions. So pretty typical of what we saw yesterday. And losing Raper to first base is Crenshaw, so another base runner here. And that will, Williams losing to first base, and that'll bring up Shelby Shepard, who we saw playing that designated player spot both games yesterday. Crenshaw gets her sign and fires, and swinging through that first pitch is Shepard, falling behind, no balls and 1 strike.
This is a really big moment early in the game for Crenshaw. She gave up the early home run again, just like you said from yesterday. It's time for her to settle down and get this double play right here.
And a hit by pitch instead. So 2 base runners once again, similar situation to what we saw before Martinez's 3-run home run to give Regis their early lead. And Crenshaw is going to take a few moments to collect herself behind. We'll see how she responds here after giving up back-to-back walks.
And Crenshaw on the year, this is her 8th start and 9 appearances on the season so far. Lots of experience in this early year. Lots of work coming in. This is game 17 on the year.
Yeah, and Crenshaw eats up a lot of the Mountain Lions innings, and she's kind of that girl in their starting rotation. Typically, you see her pitch game 1, Lexi Rayburn in game 2, with Rudkoff in and out in there as needed. So Crenshaw, no stranger to these situations, and we've talked about how she kind of gives up some early points, but tends to settle in as the game goes on. But the name of the game right now, you would believe, is just limit damage at this point.
100%. With the 2 runners on again, with only 1 out in the inning, you're looking to get ground balls and get out of this jam.
She falls behind here, though. 3 balls and 1 strike, a good hitter's count for Mia Moore at the plate. Moore's been very patient in her approach with Crenshaw, as we saw yesterday, and once again walking to first base, and the bases are full of Rangers for Jordan Simonsgard. Paige White will come out to talk to her pitcher, and the Mountain Lion infield will converse.
That's a good time for Paige White to go and talk to her pitcher. 3 straight walks, 2 on 4 balls and 1 on a hit by pitch. Definitely a perfect time to settle her pitcher down, get a couple outs here to end this inning, and get the UCCS bats going in the bottom half of this inning.
Mountain Lions certainly capable of putting up crooked numbers in the early innings of games, but they struggled mightily yesterday with Kylie Hartman. We talked about 17 strikeouts for her, a very good overall performance from her on the mound, complete game. And so they will have their hands full, and they don't want to dig too big of a hole here too early, because it won't be easy to come back in this one. That one's in there for strike 1. Now at the plate, Jordan Simonsgard making her first plate appearance today. Bases full of Rangers. That one's going to be chopped foul down the third baseline, and Sawyer Brewster will go retrieve and throw it back into her pitcher. Williams stands on third, Shepard's on second, and Mia Moore, who just walked, on first. All 3 essentially got there from walks. Williams, it was a hit by pitch to get to first, but all freebies on the bases right now. And that one misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count.
That's a good pitch there with 0-2, trying to get a swing and a miss on a high fastball. Let's see what she comes back with as a 1-2 count.
Especially throughout RMAC play, you see those pitchers with that approach, getting up 2-0, trying to get the chase pitch on the third. And most of these hitters have been pretty conditioned to that approach at this point. So you will typically see those players, unless they're more in a slump and are desperate to get a hit, they'll stay patient on that third hit. That one's chopped over. Nice play by Solana Martinez to get the out at third. A run does come across, but a sliding stop by Martinez at third gets an out. So that's Shepard that's erased at third. Williams comes around to score, and all 9 batters at least for the Rangers will come up to bat, as the 9-hole Flores will take her turn. We saw her in game 1 yesterday, but she did not play in game 2. That one's in there for strike 1, and a good start on Flores.
And that's a really, really big out for Crenshaw, getting second out of the inning, minimizing damage, only giving up 1 extra run. Still have 2 runners on, but 2 outs now in the inning.
Paige White not afraid to backpick. We saw her try it a few times yesterday. That pitch just misses below the knees. Looked like a good spot on the outside half of the plate from Crenshaw, but doesn't get her to bite on it. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, she definitely hit her spot. Right pitch, right spot right there. Just didn't get the call.
That one is swung through, goes off the helmet of Paige White. She pops up and looks okay, but the home plate umpire, that typical courtesy between a catcher and an umpire, taking the few extra moments for Paige White to collect herself. umpire's no stranger to what it feels like to take a foul ball on the mask. Always like to give that catcher an extra moment as that one misses low, and you'll see the catchers do the same thing for the umpires in that situation.
And umpires know the catchers are there to protect him so much, so they're going to take advantage of any time that they can give.
So 2s across the board here, 2-2 with 2 outs. That one just misses on the outside part of the plate. Great pitch by Crenshaw. She shakes her head. She thought she had her there, but count runs full instead. So 2 on with a full count at the plate and 2 outs here. See how Crenshaw responds and gets a huge strikeout there. Swinging through that one is Flores, and she goes down on strike. So all 9 batters come up for the Rangers in the first inning here from Mountain Lion Field. They get 4 across, and the Mountain Lions have their work cut out for them facing the pitcher that struck out 17 yesterday. We'll see Kylie Hartman on the mound when we return. Don't go anywhere. You are watching RMAC Softball on the RMAC Network and UCCS Live. Back here at Mountain Lion Field for the start of the bottom half of the first inning. And UCCS has their work cut out for them with a 4-run deficit. Hernandez Ballou takes strike 1 over the outside half of the plate. First 3 due up for the Mountain Lions in this inning: Morgan Hernandez Ballou, Mia Perez, and Solana Martinez, as we'll get some lineups for you here as Hernandez Ballou falls behind. No balls and 2 strikes to finish out the lineup for the Mountain Lions. After this pitch here, Hartman likes to work quickly. Pitch on its way and swinging through that one, and 3 pitches and an out for Hartman, and her first strikeout today, picking up right where she left off yesterday. To finish off the lineup for the Mountain Lions, Sawyer Brewster in the cleanup spot, Paige White batting 5. 6th spot is Peyton Reisman. Courtney Heller back in her spot as the designated player in Game 1, batting 7th. Brianna Matos 8th, and Bryn Horton rounding things out in the 9-hole. Of course, we saw Braylon Crenshaw start things off on the mound as that first pitch to Mia Perez is hit foul down the left field line. Defensively for the Regis Rangers, from left to right in the outfield, Jordan Simonsgard in left, Mia Moore in center, and Alicia Martinez back out in right for Game 1. In the infield on the corners, Mia Campos at third base. First base is Catherine Raper up the middle for, as that one's bounced, it may get through the hole deep in the 6th hole, but beating out the throw for the infield hit. So a good start for Perez, although we did see her reach in the first inning on a walk yesterday and get caught stealing. So hopefully she doesn't run herself into an out this time around. Solana Martinez steps in to finish off those defensive positioning for the Rangers. Up the middle, it's Jessie Case at shortstop, At second base is going to be Madison Flores, who we saw start in that spot in Game 1 yesterday. Behind the plate in Game 1 is Rachel Williams. We saw her start behind the plate in Game 1 yesterday and then move to right field in Game 2. Designated player is Shelby Shepard. We saw her play that role in both games yesterday. expect to see her play that spot in both games today. Behind, though, is Solana Martinez, 0-2 at the plate. Lays off on that rising fastball. We saw her strike out on that pitch a few times yesterday, but seems to be reading it better on its first showing today. 1-2 pitch, and she gets her with it that time. The rising fastball up above the belt gets Martinez to go down on strikes, and 2 strikeouts already here for Hartman. Brings up Sawyer Brewster. So we talked about her performance yesterday, striking out 17 for Hartman on the mound. A very good performance, and she is continuing her domination today as she delivers strike 1 to Sawyer Brewster.
And this is where, if you're Coach Rothbauer Stubbs, you want to see these adjustments in your top of your lineup to set the tone for the rest of the girls. You may have to make some changes if we get the same results of strikeouts again.
Fouling that one back is Brewster, so she too is behind, no balls and 2 strikes. Hartman steps onto the rubber, gets her sign, and comes set. 0-2 pitch on its way, and that's going to miss outside. Good patience from Sawyer Brewster.
Sawyer Brewster coming into this game, leading the team in batting average, batting .396 on the year. We'd love to see her continue that.
She'll foul that one back out of play into the parking lot here, and Brewster, the tallest mountain lion on the roster at 5'11", and when you have those few extra inches, you can see the outside part of the plate a little better than some of your teammates. So a credit to why she's in that middle part of the lineup. Also, she can hit well, as that one is gonna get on out of here. A solo shot from Sawyer Brewster, and the Mountain Lions get a run back, and that's what Sawyer Brewster can do and why she's in the middle parts of the lineup. If you make a mistake, she's gonna make you pay, and she gets one back for UCCS.
Definitely a huge moment right there for Sawyer Brewster. Big home run, and like you said, hitting in the 4-hole in the lineup. Tons of power from Brewster, and she puts that ball over the wall in left field. Gets us back in the game already in this first inning.
That'll bring up Paige White, and she's nothing to sneeze at in the batter's box either. Had a grand slam in the first inning yesterday of game 2, and all 4 runs were the only runs that were scored by the Mount Lions. Instead, this time it'll be a bouncer over to Madison Flores at second base on the first pitch, and that will be out number 3. But the Mount Lions get a run back. They go back to work on defense. All 9 Rangers came up in the top half of the first inning. We'll see if they can be more efficient in the second when we return to Mountain Lion Field. You're watching RMAC Softball.
Sure.
I don't know if we're actually. We said to go to break, but I don't know if we're actually. Doesn't.
Oh, well.
So it'll be Jessie Case to take her turn again at the plate, leading things off for the second inning in a row for the Rangers. Crenshaw back out there for UCCS. Struggled through the first time through the lineup. .1-0 pitch on its way now, and that one's going to be bounced back to Crenshaw. Good start to get through the second trip through the lineup. 2 pitches and an out on Jesse Case, who had a very good day from the plate yesterday. And that'll bring up Mia Campos, playing third base again today. We saw her in that role both games yesterday.
Getting that first out of the inning is so important, especially coming off of giving up 4 in the first. Getting the first out of the second is huge for Crenshaw.
That one's low. Ahead now is Campos in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. Campos grounded out in her first at-bat against Crenshaw yesterday, reached on an error second time up, and then had another ground out in a walk. Ends up 1-for-3. Pitch on its way, letting that one fall in for ball 3. So way ahead now again is Campos. 3 balls and 1 strike and a good hitter's count. Lots of patience from the Regis hitters so far in this game. The pitch on its way. That one's going to miss for ball 4 and another walk. So the third walk of the game comes through there on Campos, brings up Alicia Martinez, who hit the 3-run home run to start off the scoring. Bounces it over to Martinez. She struggles to handle it, rolls it through the legs of Hernandez Balloon. No one's there, but recovering is a mountain line infield. So thinking ahead a little bit there, Solana, as she, once it hit her glove, went to look to get it over to second base, but hadn't fully secured it yet. So everyone's safe. It'll be, I imagine, an error for Solana.
Yeah, that'll definitely be scored an error, and that's just thinking a little bit ahead, like you said, trying to get 2 outs before you even get the first, and the goal of that turning a double play is getting that first out.
Catherine Raper steps back in and takes strike 1 on her first offering from Crenshaw. So 2 runners on with 1 out now. Pitch on its way, and that one's hit softly back over to Martinez. She's going to go to third, and the call is out at third, so Campos is cut down on the bases. Martinez moves up to second, and Raper will stand on first. Fielder's choice for her, and that'll bring up the catcher, Rachel Williams. In her first at-bat, she was hit by a pitch.
And that's just a heads-up play from Solana Martinez, getting the second out there.
Well, you could say that she was determined to get Campos out, as she would fail to do so at second base the first time around, was successful at third, so it ends up being the same. Mountain Lions have a chance to get out of this inning without giving up any damage here. So that one misses for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike to count now.
One thing I want to point out with Crenshaw is we're seeing way more walks than we've seen this entire year from her, coming into the game with 12 on the year. Already has 4 through 2 innings.
Absolutely correct, and she's responded well here in this second inning. She struggled mightily there in the first, giving up the back-to-back singles to start off the game, followed up by the 3-run home run. So you have 3 runs in before you even have an out in the game. So obviously tough to deal with mentally, but good job by Crenshaw going in between innings. Once you finally get out of that jam, you do give up 4. She reset though and has come out nicely. Is behind 3-1 here. Delivers a strike to run the count full, and a big strike there for the Mountain Lions momentum-wise in the at-bat. So another 3-2 count with 2 outs situation here. She got the strikeout in this situation last inning. We'll see here as she delivers. And a called strike 3. Rachel Williams goes down looking, and back-to-back innings, the Mountain Lions get a strikeout on a full count with 2 outs and get out of a jam. So it'll be Shepard when the Rangers come back up to bat next time. But for the Mountain Lions in the bottom half of the second inning, I should say, it'll be Peyton Reisman, Courtney Heller, and Brianna Matos when we return. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Rangers and Mountain Lions softball on the RMAC Network and UCCS Live. Back here at Mountain Lion Field, Peyton Reisman leading things off for UCCS. She takes strike one on the first offering of the second inning from Hartman, who had a very good showing in the first inning. Only real blemish, she gave up an infield hit, which was not anyone's really fault. It was just the speed of Perez that earned her that hit, and then Brewster put one over the wall in left field, the only blemish on Hartman Day so far. She's up 0-2 though here. Good job staying alive by Reisman there, fouling that one back to the screen. Count remains 0-2. And we talked about the approach of Hartman especially, and it's just attack, 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 and you can see her filling up the zone early.
100%, and that's the Mountain Lions need to take advantage of that. They're going to see a lot of strikes today because her confidence is above everyone else right now, so these hitters need to adjust.
That one misses low, so first ball of the at-bat comes through. Good patience by Peyton Reisman. Next pitch is on the inside half of the plate. A little bit of a 50-50 pitch there, as you could kind of hear the fans on the Mountain Lion side of things holding their breath on that one. They do get the call to go their way. The count is even at 2-2 here. Pitch on its way. That one's bounced up the middle. Over to get it is Flores, and she'll make the out at first base. So 1 up, 1 down for the Mountain Lions so far. And that will bring up Courtney Heller, who we saw in the designated player role, where she also pitched in game 2, had a single, but was thrown out at first base from right field, I should say. She kind of tweaked her back as she tried to slide into first. So it's good to see her back out here and see that she's okay today. Takes strike one. Heller was the only real Mountain Lion that was able to solve Hartman yesterday, and it wasn't by contact. She was patient and worked her way into a couple of walks, but any way you can get on, especially the way that Hartman's been pitching this weekend, your team will certainly take it. 0-2 pitch here. That's going to miss, ball 1.
One of the things I'm noticing from Hartman is she's getting ahead of every single batter, getting first pitch strikes and immediately getting that second strike and making the UCCS hitters fall behind and struggle to get back into the count.
Mountain Lions have certainly been on their heels all weekend long. Good eye there from Heller as she evens the count at 2. But you're absolutely right. Hartman just attacks early. You got to be ready on those early pitches because you're going to see the best pitches then. But then she tries to beat you on the technical side after that. You see those more rising fastballs, off-speed pitches coming through from Hartman in those situations. Good job, though, by Heller staying alive here with 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on with 1 out for the Mountain Lions here. 2-2 pitch on its way, and she squibs that one back. It's going to A little confusion. Heller said that it hit her foot, but they're not going to give her the benefit of the doubt, so it's a put out in the field for out number 2. 5-3 on the out.
Couldn't tell if that hit her in the foot or if that ball just hit her in the hands on the inside fastball there. Either way, unfortunate for Heller.
Yeah, unsure. She didn't even try to run to first base. No umpire signaled anything, so they erred with Regis on that one. So 2 outs for the Mountain Lions. It was hard to tell. It could have gone either way. Umpires did ask each other for help. Nobody saw it hit her, so that's the call. 0-1 pitch on its way there, and strike 2, and the Mountain Lions complacent early in their at-bats, watching strikes go by, and they're finding themselves in those holes as Matos watches 2 strikes go past.
We are seeing more balls in play, testing the Regis defense, man. We just need a break.
That one misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Two outs here for the Mountain Lions. Matos tries to extend the inning to Horton, but she swings through that one, and yet another strikeout for Hartman. That's her 3rd of the day, and it'll be Horton to lead things off next time for the Mountain Lions. But when we return to lead off the 3rd inning, it'll be Shelby Shepard, her 2nd time up, Mia Moore, and Jordan Simonsgard to lead things off for the Rangers. Don't go anywhere. The Mountain Lions still trail by a pair from Mount Lion Field. We'll have the 3rd inning of action when we return. Back here at Mount Lion Field, Crenshaw, first offering is going to miss for ball 1. Shelby Shepard at the plate. She walked her first time up, but then was erased at third base on that nice sliding play from Solana Martinez. That one's going to be in there for strike 1, evening the count, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And we're seeing a good bounce back from Crenshaw. Got through that first inning, shut them down in the second, and looking to do the same thing again here in the 3rd.
That one's going to miss low as well, below the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike now. Two-one pitch on its way from Crenshaw. That's going to be in there at the belt for strike 2. Good response after just missing below the knees from Crenshaw on the previous pitch, and she evens things up. First out is so important the way this game has been going for the Mountain Lions. That one's bounced back to Crenshaw. Good job going up to get it, and she'll get the out at first base.
Yeah, as you said, the first out going to be so important for this entire game and the rest of the series with the doubleheader today. Getting the first out of the innings really puts the offense on their heels.
Brings up Mia Moore, the center fielder for this Regis squad. She walked as well in her first time up, was stranded at second base. She takes for strike 1 that time. So ahead is Crenshaw, and especially for Crenshaw, we talked about the first out kind of for the team, but that first strike for Crenshaw kind of gets her settled into the at-bat as she gets ahead 0-2 now on Moore.
And that's a great off-speed pitch from Crenshaw. Had Moore swinging on her front foot. Brings the count 0-2 now.
Crenshaw checks her sleeve for her sign. fires. That one's going to be softly grounded over to Peyton Reisman at first base. She'll take it herself and get the second out. So 2 up and 2 down here. A very efficient inning to this point for the Mountain Lions. Will bring up Jordan Simonsgard. Simonsgard had that grounder over to Martinez that erased Shepard at third base. That was back in the first inning. Two strikeouts for Crenshaw, but this is going to be a bouncer over to Brewster, and she'll get the out at first base. So 3 up, 3 down in the third inning for the Rangers, and you can see Crenshaw start to settle in a little bit. We'll see how that plays out the rest of the way. For the Mountain Lions, they'll have 9, 1, and 2 due up with Horton, Hernandez, Ballou, and Perez when we come back, still trailing a pair, trying to get back in this one against the Rangers when we return from Mount Line Field. Back here at Mountain Lion Field, it will be the 9-hole hitter, Bryn Horton, to lead things off. Shows bunt, and a good one. Can she beat the throw? It goes into right field. Will she try to move up? She's going to. And it'll be a single with an error. I think she would have beaten the throw, and I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, at least in my book, for the single. But moving up to second base on the throwing error from Williams. And that brings up Morgan Hernandez-Ballou for her second time today. Saw her to lead things off the game in the first inning. She struck out swinging on 3 pitches. See how she responds here with some momentum back her team's way, swinging underneath that one for strike 1.
And definitely a perfect bunt there from Horton, and I think she would have beaten that out as well. So I would have given her a single with an error on the catcher on the throw, allowing her to reach second base.
Yeah, Williams kind of was gonna let it go. Thought the spin would take it. A good shot here. Will this one go off the top of the wall? Around to score is Horton, and into second base is Morgan Hernandez-Ballou with a stand-up RBI double, and the Mountain Lions are within a run.
And that's just clutch hitting from Hernandez-Ballou. That ball about half a foot from going out of this ballpark and tying this game. Either way, an RBI double, making this game 4-3. A huge moment for the Mountain Lions.
So the tying run on second base now with Morgan Hernandez-Ballou. Another good bunt put down by the Mountain Lions. Will this one get beat out? It will. 2 bunt singles. And now runners on the corners, the tying run 60 feet away. And we're going to have the first visit of the weekend out to the mound for Hartman, as this is the first time we have seen her struggle with the Mountain Lions offense. Mountain Lions runners will go and talk to her there, I should say, Coach Rothbauer Stubbs over at third base. Rangers still conversing at the mound. Right person at the right time, and Solana Martinez at the plate for UCCS. 1 run already in, nobody out. As the Mount Lions have a chance to put up a crooked number here and tie the game with Morgan Hernandez Blue just 60 feet away. Perez a threat to steal at first base here with first and third. And Solana with a healthy hack there. That one goes back to the backstop, and Mount Lions looking aggressive for the first time from the plate.
This is a situation with a runner on third, less than 2 outs. Got to put a ball in play and score. Hernandez Blue standing on third base, ready to score.
Swinging through that one again is Martinez. She falls behind, no balls and 2 strikes. Like to see the aggressive approach here from Solana. She's got nothing to lose, nobody out here, a run already in. So if she goes down, she's still got 2 more chances behind her, and she's gonna go down on swinging the off-speed pitch, fools her, and she'll be the first out of the inning for UCCS. Brings up Brewster. Brewster homered on a 1-2 count her last time up to give the Mount Lions their first run of the game. Excuse me, their first 2 runs of the game, as it was a 2-run shot. First pitch goes against her though. She's behind, no balls and 1 strike. 0-1 pitch on its way, and she swings through that one as well. So 0-2, and good response here from Hartman after giving up 3 straight hits to start the inning, as well as surrendering her 3rd run, all of which earned for Hartman. That one's high, ball 1.
This is where the approach needs to change, get a ball in play. Sawyer Brewster should be able to beat out a double play on a slow hit ground ball and score Hernandez Blue.
Really anything past the pitcher should be able to get that run home with the speed of Hernandez Blue. Evening the count at 2 at the plate is Brewster though. Paige White waits on deck. 2-2 pitch on its way, and that's going to be high, ball 3. Good at bat being put together by the third base player for the Mount Lions, Sawyer Brewster.
I think we'll see the runner on first, Perez, moving on this pitch with a full count.
We'll see. Full count, fouled back.
And the reason I say that, is to break up a double play on a ground ball. It's a little bit risky if Sawyer Brewster does hit a line drive, but it breaks up a double play, and then you're guaranteeing Hernandez Blue to score.
We'll see how it plays out here. Another 3-2 pitch on its way now, and that one's going to be fouled back as well. So continuing to battle is Brewster. We'll have the 8th pitch of the at-bat here in just a moment as Hartman gets a new ball from the umpire. Count remains full, 1 out after Martinez struck out swinging. 3-2 pitch on its way, and swinging underneath that one is Brewster. A big out for the Rangers, and Hartman back-to-back strikeouts after giving up the several hits to start the inning, but it'll be Paige White this time around. She grounded out to second to end the first inning, her first time at the plate. We'll see how it plays out this time. 2 runners out there for the Mount Lions. Tying run just 60 feet away on third. A bouncer over to first, and that'll end the threat. But the Mount Lions do get a run back and are within a run after a leadoff bunt single and an error to get Horton to second base, and then an RBI double from Morgan Hernandez Blue. The Mount Lions within a run, and Regis will look to extend their lead back out to at least a couple. When we return, we'll have the start of the 4th inning from Mount Lion Field. Back here at Mountain Lion Field, it'll be 9-1-2 due up for the Rangers with Madison Flores leading things off. She'll ground it up and gets over the glove of Solana Martinez. A good effort by the shortstop, but tough bounce takes it into center field. So a leadoff single for Flores, one pitch and a hit. And that'll bring up Jessie Case, who's got a single and a ground out, as well as a run scored for the Rangers.
And that's going to be a difficult play, even if she does field that ball. The speed of Flores, she might have still beaten that play out.
Turf field here at Mountain Lion Field. That's going to be lifted into right field. We'll cheat into foul territory, but over to make the play is Bryn Horton. And a strong throw into second base keeps Flores at first base. So one out on the fly out brings up Mia Campos.
I'm noticing an approach change right now with Regis. They're attacking early in the count, whereas they were letting the counts get a little bit deeper earlier in the game.
I think they saw that Crenshaw was beginning to settle in, and after yesterday, a nice sac bunt put down there. The out will be at first base, moving Flores into scoring position, at second. A 1-3 put out for Campos. And it'll bring up the right fielder, Alicia Martinez. Martinez coming off a very good week last week as she was named the RMAC Player of the Week as well as the Division II Softball Player of the Week. She lifts that one foul out of play on the first base side for strike one.
And with all those accolades, Crenshaw with an open base at first, maybe looking to pitch around her a little bit. No need to have her do more damage against the Mountain Lions.
Behind her is Catherine Raper. She is 0 for 2, but ahead on Martinez is Crenshaw as she looks to set after the right fielder. 0-2 situation here. We'll see if she tries to get a chase or not, and she does get a chase. A very nice pitch there as the off-speed pitch fools Martinez, and after giving up the leadoff single, Crenshaw responds nicely to get the next three and strand Flores at second base. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 for the Mountain Lions when we return with Reisman, Heller, and Matos as they are within a run and look to tie this one up in their half of the fourth inning when we return from Mountain Lion Field. But don't go anywhere. You're watching RMAC Softball on the RMAC Network and UCCS Live. Start of the bottom half of 4 here is fighting that one off to second base, trying to beat out the throws, Peyton Reisman, but one pitch and one out for Hartman as she gets the ground out over to first base.
And we're seeing both of these pitchers really starting to settle in. A couple of crooked numbers for both sides in the first, and only one run given up between both pitchers in the last 3 innings.
Courtney Heller steps in for her second time today. She fouls her first offering back out of play. Her first time up was kind of that little bit of a confusion situation as she grounded to third base. She thought that it hit her foot in the box, but none of the umpires saw it, so they ruled it a ground out for the second out in the second inning. She falls behind, no balls and 2 strikes here with 1 out in the fourth inning. A good response after a tough, really the first tough inning Hartman's had all weekend. That one's going to be lifted foul again, out of play, bouncing it towards the set shop here behind the end center at UCCS on the north side of campus. So that one's fouled back again, and Heller being aggressive but staying alive.
And we've seen, like you said, from yesterday and today so far now, she's working counts and working the pitch count of Kylie Hartman up.
Next pitch is going to be grounded into left field. A single for Heller. We'll probably see a pinch runner here. And we will, as Brianna Jennings will come in to run for Courtney Heller. I imagine that Heller will re-enter in that spot when her bat comes back around in the lineup. It'll be Brianna Matos, though, due up next for the Mountain Lions. She struck out swinging her first time up back in the second inning on a 1-2 count. Brianna Jennings has very good speed over at first base with one out, always a threat to steal, especially with that left-handed batter in the box. Kind of obscures the vision of that base path from the catcher just a little bit to make a difference.
This situation does call for maybe a stolen base with the speed on first, trying to get to second with one out here, giving Matos a chance to hit an RBI single and score her.
Bunt shown there, but pulling it back for ball one. Brianna Jennings at first base has 3 stolen bases and 3 attempts on her season, so she doesn't take it very often. Does there, a foul ball, so she'll have to return.
And she had a great jump. She might have stolen that base if that ball wasn't fouled off.
Ricky Rothbauer Stubbs at third base, the head coach for the Mountain Lions, didn't see the foul ball. Kind of wanted an explanation from the home plate umpire, but Matos confirms with her that she did indeed make contact for it, so she returns to her coach's box. That's going to be a called strike 2, though, on Matos, so 1 ball and 2 strikes account now. I imagine now with 2 strikes that Jennings will probably stay put, so you don't have a strike him out, throw him out situation, but she does take off. The throw goes to second base, and she is out at second. So it is a ball at the plate, so no strike him out, throw him out, but the base runner is erased on the caught stealing. First time Jennings has been caught stealing this year.
Looked like they were asking if she swung or not, but they asked the wrong umpire with the left-handed batter up. You should be asking the third base umpire, not the first base umpire.
Call goes away to the Mountain Lions, though. That was called by the home plate umpire ball the first time, but they get the strikeout on the following pitch. So Mountain Lions go down. It ends up being a 1-2-3 inning for them, but the Rangers have a chance to extend their lead as we start the 5th inning. When we return, it'll be 4, 5, and 6 with Raper, Williams, and Shepard. When we return to Mountain Lion Field, you're watching RMAC Softball. Back here at Mountain Lion Field, Crenshaw back out for her 5th inning of work. And that's going to be a grounder over to Martinez at shortstop. A high throw, but going up to get it for out number 1 is Peyton Reisman at first base. So 1 pitch, 1 out for UCCS in their defensive half of the 5th. brings up Rachel Williams. Williams is 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch, a run scored, and a strikeout looking. Called strike 1 on Williams.
And something we've seen definitely in the approach change. I mentioned it last inning, attacking Crenshaw early. That first inning, they let the count run, and they scored 4, and now in the approach change, they're trying to attack her early.
That one's going to miss for ball 1. Over across the open space here on the north part of the campus at UCCS, the Mountain Lion men on the baseball side of things about to get underway with game 2 of their 4-game series against New Mexico Highlands University. They took game 1 of that series yesterday, 5 runs to 1. So we'll keep you updated on how they're doing over at Mountain Lion Park as they get underway here in a few moments. That one is going to miss as well. 3 balls and 1 strike. Way ahead is Rachel Williams. Crenshaw gets her sign and comes set. Offering here. That looked like a good pitch at the knees, but the call goes the way of Williams, and she'll trot to first base. Another walk for Crenshaw as she struggled with those early, but has cleaned it up in the middle innings.
Yeah, 3 of her walks came in the first and another in the second. And this is now her first in the top of the 5th, I believe. Yeah. So definitely managed the walks the last few innings.
Absolutely, as she's settled in nicely as the game has gone on. The Mountain Lions offense bringing her back as well, getting some run support for her the first time this weekend. They struggled with that in game 1 against Hartman, but they get 3 on her here, so within a run, but the Rangers are trying to extend it with a runner on first and 1 out. Swinging through that pitch, a healthy hack from Shepard on the first offering. No balls and 1 strike. Oh, 1 pitch on its way, and bouncing that one back into her own dugout is Shepard. So ahead now, no balls and 2 strikes is Crenshaw. Crenshaw yesterday with her 5 strikeouts took sole possession of 7th in program history for punch-outs. She had been chasing that mark for the last few weeks, but finally eclipsed it yesterday. Gets another strikeout there, so 2 outs for the Mountain Lions. Brings up Mia Moore. She is 0 for 1 with a walk and a ground out when she walked back in the first inning. She was stranded at second base. Called strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch on its way, and that one's going to be bounced to the left side. Up with it, Martinez. Throw to first, not in time. A good play by Martinez to get to the ball, but unable to get it over to first base in time for the out. It'll be an infield single for Mia Moore. And Jordan Simonsgard come to with a fielder's choice and a ground out to Sawyer Brewster.
And those plays on the left side of the infield are so difficult in softball because the game is just so fast.
That one's chopped over to third base, but in foul territory. Brewster would have just been able to step on her bag for the 3rd out, but it's a strike at the plate instead. Oh, 1 pitch on its way. That one's going to be low for ball number 1. Crenshaw steps off. Simonsgard steps back in, and Crenshaw winds and fires. That one's going to be chopped out of play as Simon's guard looked like she was just trying to get contact on that pitch. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes now. 2 outs for the Mountain Lions. One-two pitch on its way, and that's going to be lined back to Crenshaw. She gets a glove on it, but is on. Rangers come off their bases to talk things over on their half of the infield and return to the field. It's going to be Madison Flores with the bases loaded and 2 outs here. Chance to extend the lead back out to at least a couple. First pitch in there for a called strike 1, and an important pitch for Crenshaw. Gets ahead. She likes to work quickly in these situations, sets and fires. The 1-0 pitch is going to be bounced over to Brewster at third. Can she get the out at first base? She can, and the threat ends as getting the very important ground out is Crenshaw, and though the Rangers are able to load the bases, they come up empty and strand all 3. The Mountain Lions will come up in the bottom half of the 5th inning with a chance still only down a run to tie things up. It'll be 9-1 and 2 due up with Horton, Hernandez, Ballou, and Perez when we return to Mountain Lion Field as the Mountain Lions look to get back in this one. Bryn Horton leading things off for UCCS. Her first time up, she reached on a bunt single. She tries to do it again, but this time it just beats her as Flores wins the race to first base. So good thought by Horton as it worked out once. Why not try it again? But this time it's a 5-4 put out on the base pass, and it'll be Morgan Hernandez Ballou as Hartman gets 1 pitch and 1 out to start the Mountain Lions half of the 5th inning. Hernandez Ballou shows bunt, pulls it back, and swings through it. We've seen Hernandez Ballou try that approach a few times, but with the speed that Hartman throws with, it's kind of hard to catch up with it, and she tends to be behind when she keeps showing bunt, but she'll do it again. 0-1 pitch on its way, pulling it back, and watching that one sail past for ball 1 is Morgan Hernandez Ballou.
Maybe she's trying to have those quarter infielders creep in a little bit so that she can hit it past them. Might be your thought there.
We'll see, but she pulls it back and puts this one in the air to center field on the track to make the play. Out there in center field is Mia Moore for the Rangers, and 2 outs now for the Mountain Lions. Mia Perez is going to try and extend the inning to Solana Martinez, as she steps in for her 3rd at-bat of the game. She is 2 for 2 with 2 infield singles. Not very often you see that, as infield singles are pretty hard to come by, especially in the condensed format of softball. She takes for strike 1. The 0-1 pitch on its way. That one's going to fly in shoulder height for ball 1.
Something I just realized, I don't know if you picked this up yesterday or not, but the catcher, Williams, is a lefty, which is usually, I think, pretty unusual for a catching position, right?
Yeah, not very common do you see lefty catchers, just like you don't typically see shortstops or third base players with the glove on the right hand. One-two pitch, and that's going to be fouled away, and a good job by Perez to stay alive with 2 strikes. One and two on Perez with 2 outs here in the Mountain Lions' 5th. That one's going to be low and away. Good eye by Perez, staying patient and evening the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2s are wild on the scoreboard here. 2 and 2 with 2 outs. And she checks her swing, but did go around, comes up empty on that one and goes down swinging. So after giving up a couple of innings of traffic, Hartman comes back with a 1-2-3 inning in the 5th inning. The Rangers will counter to start off the 6th with the top of the lineup, 1, 2, and 3 in Case, Campos, and Martinez due up for the Rangers when we return from Mount Lion Field. The Rangers still lead. Crenshaw starts her 6th inning of work for the Mountain Lions, delivers a first pitch ball there. Leading things off is the top of the lineup for Regis and Jesse Case. That was a ball, and I wrote it down as a strike. Would have confused me later. That one is a strike, though, and it is a 1-1 count. Crenshaw we talked about how she struggled early, giving up those 4 runs in the first inning of play here, but has thrown up zeros on the scoreboard ever since and has put the pressure back on Hartman to continue her performance as that one misses for ball 2.
And she's minimized the traffic. We saw a lot last inning, but with 2 outs, which is great, getting the early outs in the inning and got out of there, and she's been solid ever since that first inning.
2-1 pitch on the way, showing bunt, but pulling it back, and it does fall in there. I'm not sure if they're calling that one on the placement or on the offering, but either way, it is 2 balls and 2 strikes. And we've talked about how I always refer to Crenshaw as a momentum pitcher. She if she gives up those early walks, it tends to stack on her a little bit, but if she starts off strong and gets those early strikes, she builds on that as well, and she has gotten the momentum back in her favor. The count is full, though, here. Pitch. That one's going to be slapped over into the middle of the infield, and a nice play to make the catch over her shoulder by Morgan Hernandez-Ballou, and that is the first out of the inning as they do get the leadoff hitter, and it'll bring up Mia Campos.
This time with a ground out to shortstop.
A nice play. Timeout called at the plate as Crenshaw was taking her time and Martinez wanted to do things on her terms, so took the timeout. First pitch on its way now, and that's going to be high for ball 1. One-zero pitch. That's bounced back over to Martinez again, deep in the hole, and she does. Back here at Mountain Lion Field, Hartman will begin her 6th inning of work on Solana Martinez, who takes first strike one on the first offering. Solana is 0 for 2 with 2 swinging strikeouts. This one's hit well into right field, but over to make the play, settling underneath that one is Alicia Martinez, and it'll be out number 1, but good to see Solana putting the ball in play after a couple of times coming up empty. Sawyer Brewster steps in. She is 1 for 2 with a 2-run home run all the way back in the first inning, and then struck out swinging her second time up in the 5th. She swats that one foul down the first baseline for strike 1. That one misses low.
And this is a situation where the Mountain Lions, they got to put something together. They've had a couple of 1, 2, 3 innings. It's time to get some base runners and some traffic on Kylie Hartman.
Absolutely, as this one's hit well to right field, going to the wall, off the top of the wall. Brewster rounding second is going to hold up there as she gets a late stop sign from Rothbauer Stubbs, but it's a 1-out double and a runner in scoring position for UCCS, bringing up Paige White, who is always a threat for some damage for UCCS. Coming out to talk things over is Williams to Hartman. They're going to call the coaching staff out as well. Brewster will come over to talk to her coaching staff. And Michael, you see the Mountain Lions starting to get their wheels turning a little bit here. And how good would it feel for them, especially the way that Hartman has pitched against them this weekend, to kind of break through and tie this game?
100%. Paige White here, this is a huge at-bat for the Mountain Lions. The base hit's going to score Sawyer Brewster. And thinking about Hernandez Ballou's double earlier in the game, hitting just below the yellow line, and Sawyer Brewster's double just now hitting the top yellow marker, almost nearly an inch away from a home run. It's crazy. This game of softball is a game of inches.
Yes, and just yesterday, Paige White in the first inning came up. She hit that grand slam, but not before it bounced off the top of that yellow line. And luckily for the Mountain Lions, it did cheat over. A base hit to left center field, around third base, in to score is Brewster, in a game-tying RBI double for Paige White on the first pitch of the at-bat, and the Mountain Lions have tied it in the 6th.
Just clutch hitting from Paige White. Hit the grand slam, like you said yesterday, and now a double that squeaks past the shortstop. It gets to the wall and scores Brewster. Such an important run for the Mountain Lions, like you said, with Kylie Hartman on the mound and her performance yesterday. Tying this game late is so huge.
Well, and Hartman had a very good week last weekend as well. Came in this weekend as a reigning RMAC Pitcher of the Week. You could see absolutely why, as that's a liner and it's going to be a double play, as a tough break for Peyton Reisman as she lines out to first base. And it ends up doubling off Paige White at second. But the Mountain Lions get even here in the 6th inning. We go to the last inning of regulation, all square at 4. It's going to be a good finish. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Rangers and the Mountain Lions square off in RMAC softball on the RMAC Network and UCCS Live. She thought she had it.
These camera angles are so nice.
Yeah. Much better than our GoPro. Leading things off in the Rangers' half of the 7th inning is Catherine Raper. She's going to hit that one into left field for a leadoff single. It'll bring up Rachel Williams with one on and nobody out here as the Rangers try and recapture their lead, the first time that they have not held the lead in this game since all the way back, in the first inning. A bunt shown there. It's going to be pulled back, though, as that one flies in low. One-zero pitch, called strike one. Crenshaw getting even, 1 ball in 1 strike here. Crenshaw on her way to her 5th complete game of the season. Although if this one gets extended, it will not be a complete game until the final out is recorded in extras. Out at first base, a very close play. The first base coach didn't like it for Regis, but the Mountain Lions get the call. It does move Raper into scoring position at second base, but a nice play on the bunt by Sawyer Brewster over at third. Brings up Shelby Shepard. Shepard is 0 for 2 with a walk, a ground out, and a strikeout.
Definitely a bang play, but the umpires are taught to be in the best position.
This one's going to be in the air over into right field. Coming in to make the play is Bryn Horton, having to stay put as it was hit into shallow right is Raper at second base. So a nice response from Crenshaw. Brings up Mia Moore. She is 1 for 2 with a infield single, a walk, and a ground out. Ground out went over to Peyton Reisman at first. That first pitch just misses outside, ball 1.
Probably the biggest at-bat of the game right now with the runner in scoring position and 2 outs.
That one's going to be just outside as well, so trying to place him a little bit here is Crenshaw. She falls behind, 2 balls and no strikes. Pitch here, and that's a good placement. It's going to be skied over to Morgan Hernandez-Ballou, so good response by UCCS after giving up that leadoff single. They come back and get the next 3 with a ground out and a couple of pop outs, I should say. And they go to the bottom of the 7th inning with a chance to walk things off. It'll be 7, 8, and 9 with Courtney Heller, Brianna Matos, and Bryn Horton as they try and take game 3 of this 4-game set when we return to Mount Lion Field.
quick update across the parking lot. Over for the UCCS baseball team in the bottom of the second inning. The Mountain Lions are leading 1-0. Kichi Sato scoring on a wild pitch in the bottom of the first inning. Back to you, Jake.
And Kichi Sato likes to show off that speed in the leadoff spot over there for UCCS baseball. Back here, though, it's going to be Courtney Heller as the Mountain Lions in the bottom of the seventh have a chance to walk this one off as they're tied at 4 runs apiece with the Regis Rangers. Courtney Heller takes for ball 1 low. The first time we've really seen Hartman in a high-pressure situation this weekend, as she's been all over the Mountain Lions offense. That one falls in there for strike 1, and she gets even 1 ball and 1 strike on Heller. Hartman gets her sign and fires. That one's fouled back to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Courtney Heller now.
And Heller does have some pop. She has 2 home runs on the year, looking maybe for a third to walk this game off.
We'll see how it plays out. Certainly all bats in the Mountain Lion lineup capable of icing the cake on this one for UCCS. Swatting that one out of play. Again, down the third base side is Heller.
And this is the player I would like to see do it. She's put together 2 incredible at-bats and a handful of them yesterday as well.
Yeah, she's definitely been the Mountain Lion that has seen Hartman the best in terms of the weekend as a whole. That one goes off her bat. So it will be a foul ball. Heller tried to sell it as if it were her hand that it hit, but umpire doesn't buy it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count remains on Courtney Heller, designated player for the Mountain Lions. 1-2 pitch on its way. They let that one go, and it falls in for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Nobody out, nobody on for the leadoff hitter here in the 7th for UCCS. Heller 1 for 2 with a single her last time up. Fouls that one out of play as well. Good job staying alive here, as she is no stranger to wasting pitches. Two-two pitch, and that one's hit softly but rolls foul.
Heller's starting to get the timing on that pitch. Hartman's been trying to bust her inside, and Heller's starting to get that timing. She pulls that one to the right side. She's been slapping everything towards us on the third base side. This at bat now has the timing down. Let's see some action from Heller here.
Yeah, and she's been trying to work out that timing all day long. She's fouled quite a bit here, but she swings underneath that one and goes down on strikes to start the 7th for UCCS. Brings up Brianna Matos, who is 0 for 2 with 2 swinging strikeouts, and it'll actually be a pinch hitter for UCCS instead, as Sydney King will come up in a very high pressure pinch hitting situation. That's a called strike 1 on King.
And Sydney King only in her 5th at-bat on the season now.
What a time for it, is a chance to do damage and get the Mountain Lions a win on this one. She has a good eye on that one as she lets it go high for ball 1, evening the count. Ones are wild on the board this time around. 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out here in the Mountain Lions 7th. Swinging through that one as King is trying to find her timing on Hartman. Goes behind. 1 ball and 2 strikes now.
Definitely a big moment for the freshman here out of Parker, Colorado.
1-2 pitch on its way, and she fouls it back to the screen, stays alive, and the count remains. One-two pitch on its way, and she fouls it back again. Good job staying alive, Sydney King, in her first appearance of the weekend. The pitch on its way and fouling it back into the screen once again as King continues to battle. Mountain Lion dugout cheers on their pinch hitter.
Couple of good at-bats put together against Hartman in the 7th inning now with Heller and now King.
Another 1-2 pitch and another foul ball is starting to zero in on those pitches is the pinch hitter Sydney King for UCCS. So the Mountain Lions want to do whatever they can to not have to come back out on defense in this game. King has fouled off so many softballs that the umpire needs replenishment behind the plate, and that one's going to stay in play for a moment, but bounces right in front of the plate and cheats foul again. Good decision by Rachel Williams to go and let that one roll foul as King can move well and was about halfway up the line before the ball even hit the ground. So count is still 1-2 strikes after about 7 pitches of the at-bat. Another one here, and that one's going to be hit up in the infield. Over to make the play is Flores at second base. So a good battle by King, but it's won by Kylie Hartman on the mound, and the Mountain Lions have 2 outs with Bryn Horton coming to the plate.
Nothing like a good old 2-out rally now to win this game.
We'll see what happens. Horton has a run scored for UCCS here today after she reached in the 3rd inning on a bunt single. She moved up to second base on the throwing error after that bunt. Hernandez-Ballou followed her at-bat up with an RBI double. That gave the Mountain Lions their 3rd run of the game. That one misses low. 1-1 strike now, the count on Horton. Rothbauer Stubbs gives her a sign. Hartman fires and swinging through that one as kind of reaching for it was Horton. She falls behind. 1-2 strikes. Hartman gets her sign, comes set, the pitch on its way, and fouling it off, staying alive is Bryn. Lots of these left-handed hitters for UCCS, you can tell, are a little bit behind, keep fouling that one back out of play behind third base. 1-2 pitch again, and that one is once again fouled back, this time behind home plate. So lots of 1-2 pitches in this inning as Sydney King pinch hitting had about 7 pitches on a 1-2 count. This will be the 3rd pitch on a 1-2 count to Horton. And she hits it into left field. That's going to get over the head and down of Simon's guard. Into second base with the stand-up double is Bryn Horton. And the Mountain Lions have the winning run in scoring position with Morgan Hernandez-Ballou in the top of the lineup now up to the plate.
And that's 3 back-to-back great at-bats by the Mountain Lions, working Hartman's pitch count, getting her a little bit tired, and she makes a mistake, and Horton makes her pay for it, hitting that ball to the wall. The runner now in scoring position, winning run. Hernandez-Ballou's at the plate now.
And without a doubt, at least for this season, this is the biggest at-bat of Hernandez' season. She swings through that one for strike 1. Hernandez on her day is 1 for 3. She's got a swinging strikeout her first time up, an RBI double. That was to score Horton, in the 3rd inning, and a fly out to center. So after striking out swinging on 3 pitches to start off the game, she has put good contact her last 2 at-bats on the ball. Falls behind 0-2 with 2 outs here, though. Winning run in scoring position. Bryn Horton stands on second. Pitch there, and that's going to be ball number 1. holding her breath a little bit there. You could see Braylon Crenshaw at the mouth of the dugout for UCCS. 1-2 pitch again, and that one's fouled back. So the count of the inning is 1 ball and 2 strikes, as every batter has hit that one, or hit that count at some point, I should say. Hartman gets her sign, comes set. The offering is going to be fouled back over to the Regis dugout. We'll get it back into Kylie on the pitcher's mound. She'll take a little walk and look in for her sign. Asks her catcher to repeat it and comes set and fires. A little bit of a quick pitch situation there, but missing high as Hartman, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2's across the board again. 2-2 with 2 outs. Runner on second base is Bryn Horton. If she comes around, the Mountain Lions will win this game, and that one's fouled back to the screen.
That was a good pitch to hit there.
A little bit underneath it was Hernandez Ballou, but we're no stranger to seeing number 3 in black and gold make some noise here in the later innings. We'll see if she can do it here. The 2-2 pitch again, and that one's outside, and a great at-bat put together as she runs the count full. Hartman gets her sign and comes set. The pitch here, and that's hit into left field, but there to make the catch is Jordan Simmons-Guard, and that will end the regular innings here. Mountain Lions and Rangers tied up after 7, 4-4. We go to 8 from Mountain Lion Field. Don't go anywhere. It's sure to be an exciting finish. Back here at Mountain Lion Field, we're going to have some stats for you here. Mountain Lions and Rangers tied up at 4, 7 hits to 9 in favor of the Mountain Lions. Both teams with an error. As we're underway, it's Jordan Simmons-Guard to lead things off. She made that catch to end the inning and the threat for UCCS in the bottom of the 7th. If that got down, she mishandles it and safe at first. So the leadoff runner gets on, as unable to handle the comebacker is the Mountain Lions pitcher. And in infield, well, I imagine they'll probably get Crenshaw an error on that one, actually. So not a hit for Simmons-Guard. And Flores comes to bat. A nice butt put down there. Brewster over to make the play, and Morgan Hernandez Ballou covers first to get the out.
And at this point in the ball game, those are the kind of plays that set up a run scored. An error like that and a sac bunt, you have a runner in scoring position now for the Rangers with 1 out.
Indeed, and now into the dangerous bats in the lineup for Regis, and Jesse Case in the top of the lineup for Regis coming to the plate. Gonna get a pinch runner for Flores out there. Or excuse me, that's Simmons-Guard. Just for now, vantage point, but just misses. 1-0. 3 with 2 strikeouts and a flyout today, but
Now you're looking for a good pitch to hit.
1 strike now.
And that double hitting the yellow trim on the wall about an inch away from being on a second home run for her today.
So definitely seeing the ball well is Brewster, and she hits this one well, but it ends up in the glove of Case, and Case makes 2 of the 3 outs for them. Rangers here in the 8th inning, and we go to 9. We're
Brewster at third base for Martinez to try and make that play at first.
brings up Rachel Williams. Williams on her day is 0 for 2, although she has had 4 at-bats. She has a hit by pitch and a walk, as well as a looking strikeout and a ground out. Well, I guess it was. That's her sign. Comes set. The 3-2 pitch is hit well, and this is going to get over the fence. A 2-run home run for the Rangers, and they take a 6-4 lead in the 9th inning. Crenshaw starting to show some fatigue here, and she makes her first mistake in 7 innings of play and gives up her first run since the first inning.
And no reason for her to put her head down in any way. It's just a tough situation. This is the 9th inning of work. These games are only supposed to go 7. She's got to be starting to fatigue at this point.
We got a replay here of that home run, and just leaving that one out above the plate and getting, well, that was the fly ball earlier from Perez. And here's the back to live action here. That one's going to be outside for ball number 1. So we'll see how she responds here. There's going to be a meeting out on the mound. I don't imagine at this point, especially with a second game to be played after the conclusion of this game, that the Mountain Lions will make a change. And it will just be a quick conversation on the mound from Rothbauer Stubbs. 1-0 the count at the plate on Shelby Shepard. 1 out after the leadoff hitter Martinez flew out to center. After that, Raper reached on the infield hit as Martinez was unable to get the throw to beat the runner, and then followed up by Williams' 2-run shot to give the Rangers a 2-1 lead. That one swung through and evens the count at 1-1 strike on Shepard.
And unfortunately, the scoreboard just doesn't show how good Crenshaw has been today, despite that first inning. 7 very, very strong innings from her.
And that one is going to be lined out to Brewster. So 2 outs now after the line out from Shepard. Will bring up Mia Moore. Moore on her day has reached base a couple of times, reached on the first on a walk, was stranded at second, had an infield single in the 5th, was also stranded at second. Otherwise, she has a ground out to first and a fly out to second. Watches that one go for ball 1 to open this at bat. Next pitch is going to miss as well. 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, I'd imagine this is Crenshaw's game at this point. She's going to go as long as the rest of it goes with 2 outs here in the 9th.
A pitch here, and that's a very good spot, but for a moment it looked like she wasn't going to get the call. She does. 2 balls and 1 strike now with 2 outs. 9th inning, the Regis Rangers have a 2-run lead now in extras. That one's going to be high and outside for ball 3. Crenshaw gets her sign and fires. That one swung through, runs the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. What a pitch to come back from Crenshaw. The 3-2 pitch with 2 outs in the 9th. And she bounces it, stays alive. Behind the plate does Moore, and a good battle between Crenshaw and Moore here. Three and two with 2 outs. And swung on and missed. Crenshaw gets her with the heater, but not before the Rangers can reclaim a 2-run lead here in extra innings. The Mountain Lions have their work cut out for them in the bottom of the 9th. When we return, it'll be 5, 6, and 7 as we look at a Ricks. This is hit out into foul territory, but over to make the play is Alicia Martinez for out number 1. Peyton Reisman will take her turn in the 9th. She is 0 for 3 with a couple of groundouts to second base and a line out to first, so likes to hit it to that right side of the infield. First pitch to her misses for ball 1. Next pitch is hit right up above the plate, again in foul territory. And there to make the play is Rachel Williams. So down to their final out, the Mountain Lions. It will come down to Courtney Heller to try and extend the game.
Yeah, now the mindset at this point is keeping the line moving, trying to get a chance, get a runner on base, and anything can happen.
Yeah, Mountain Lions have to take it one at bat at a time at this point, and they start that here with ball 1 against Heller. They're going to call a dead ball strike here on Heller.
It's like the third time today that a high inside pitch like that has gone off of Heller.
So I think there was contact made there behind the plate with Rachel Williams. They're going to check on her as Courtney Heller will return to her dugout mouth as they check on Williams. She's back up onto her feet. They're going to give her a few extra moments to collect herself. Good to see that Williams is getting her mask back on, is looking like she is okay. And so we'll do it again. 1 ball and 1 strike the count.
Umpires are going to talk here. Maybe about a hit by pitch or a foul ball, whether with what happened with Heller that caused the injury to Williams.
Looks like they will go with their original call. So 1 ball and 1 strike the count. 2 outs here in the 9th inning. Second frame of extras between Regis and UCCS. The difference at this point is a Rachel Williams 2-run shot in the top half of this inning. Swinging through that one, and a healthy hack from Heller puts her behind 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Kylie Hartman gets her sign, comes set, her pitch on the way. That one fouled back again by Courtney Heller as she continues to battle. We've seen Heller in this situation a few times as the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Felt like back in the 7th inning we had 1,000 1 ball and 2 strike counts, but we're back there now. The second attempt at that count is going to be swatted foul again over on top of the batting cage on Regis's side of things.
I was ready to make that play, Jake. It was coming over towards us a little bit.
Yeah, we've had a couple of close calls here. There was a line drive off the bat of Paige White that almost blasted Matt Wagner and myself over here yesterday, but we've been pretty comfortable to this point. The next 1-2 pitch is going to be fouled off of Heller's foot, and she can't catch a break over there as she continues to get awkward hops in the batter's box.
Staying alive, though, and that's what matters.
She'll take a few extra steps to collect herself. Hartman will toe the rubber, come set. The next 1-2 pitch on its way. That's going to miss for ball 2. Good patience by Heller, as it's when you're in these 2-strike battles, it's tough to lay off of those pitches. On its way now, as looking in is a 2-2 pitch. And that's going to be at the belt. Strike 3 called, and that'll do it. Kylie Hartman wins the battle, but UCCS looks much better today against the ace from Regis. We will step away for a few moments here as we get ready for game 2, but in a thriller, a 9-inning thriller no less. Regis Rangers take game 3 and take a 2-1 series lead as they win this one 6 runs to 4. Don't go too far. Myself and Michael will have game 2 action in just a few minutes from Mountain Lion Field. But until that time comes, we appreciate your time with us in game 3 for all of us here at UCCS, our camera crew and all of our directors in the truck. My name is Jake Ross alongside Michael Newman, saying so long for now. Back in about half an hour for game 2 on the RMAC network and UCCS Live. Thanks for watching.